So then guys, welcome to episode 1 of season 2 of our F1 Manager save here on the channel. Now, get excited for this new season. We've got new tyre manufacturers, we've got new teams entering the grid, we've got driver transfers, we've got a lot of things happening. We are just at the end of our last season. If you didn't check out the season finale, go back and watch that. And there's a bit of a summary in there as well. But this is the new season, so we're going to go ahead now and start the new season. We've got regulation changes as well coming in. New season target is finishing 5th in the season objective for the Constructors. Long-term objective is to win the Constructors Championships. We could have switched teams, but we're not going to because in effect we already have. We accept the new target and welcome to the new season here of our F1 Manager save. So straight away, sponsorship obligations. We're not going to change this too much this season. We may actually put a race weekend driver appearance in. I think that's probably... we'll stick a couple of them in for car 1. I think that might be worth it. But what we're mainly going to be looking at this season is not breaching the cost cap. That's our main goal this season. We need to be a bit shrewder in terms of the financial standings. We had a lot of problems, really, at the end of last season due to financial impacts. So we don't want that happening to us again. So let's continue to our powertrain manufacturers. Now, we have selected Renault. Now, apparently, we cannot change that, which is quite unusual. So I was hoping that we were going to be able to change to the Red Bull powertrains. Because we manufacture our own powertrain, we cannot change manufacturers. So we have got the Renault powertrain, which is a little bit disappointing, but we may be able to change that in the future. So we've got the Renault powertrain, that's it, and the new season is here. So where do we stand in terms of the car analysis? Let's have a little look at that and the rank on the grid. We are pretty low down in terms of development on the grid. We have got a long while. We've got 53 days before the first race in Bahrain, but look at this beautiful new Andretti Cadillac car. I'm very excited to bring this to you. It's from one of the mods on Race Department. Check that out. We're going to get all the liveries. This is going to be the pre-season episode. And all the liveries, I'll give a quick glimpse of them at the end. But my God, look at this new Cadillac car that we've got. Obviously, Andretti, a world champion, Mario Andretti, in his own right in Formula 1, is involved with the team. And this is a brand new chapter here for the team. So I'm going to get some developments done and I'll come back a little bit further on in the break and let you know where we are. Right then guys, so we are going to do the race. We are going to do the first race of the season, but let's have a look at the driver roster update. There's been a couple of driver transfers. Let's get into it. So Max Verstappen and Checo Perez remain at Red Bull. It's Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz at Ferrari. Will they be closer this season? Stroll and Alonso stay at Aston Martin, and it's the same at Mercedes as well, with Russell and Hamilton staying on. At Andretti, we have obviously got Sophia now in our ranks as a reserve driver, so we're going to be trying to build Sophia up to hopefully get in the car in a couple of seasons' time. Williams are the movers and shakers. Alexander Albon stays at Williams, but Zhou Guanyu takes the second seat at Williams Racing. Alex Palou also comes in as a reserve driver. Kevin Magnussen at Hulkenberg, Gunther Steiner deciding to stick rather than twist. At Hugo Boss Alpha Tauri, it is now Yuki Tsunoda and Daniel Ricciardo who are the main two drivers. Liam Lawson is the reserve. Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris stay at McLaren, and Audi have Valtteri Bottas and Mick Schumacher back on the F1 grid. Going to be a very interesting team, that Audi team, one to look out for. Now, I do bring rather bad news in terms of the car. We aren't where we want to be. If we have a look at the rank on the grid, it's not pretty reading at all. We've only managed to get 2 upgrades done in the time, in the break. It's going to be, I think, similar to a McLaren sort of season, what they had this season, where they started very slow and got into it. We're going to be working very, very hard on getting the upgrade packages on. But that all being said, let's get to the first race of this new season at Bahrain and hope we can pick up some points and get a good start for Andretti Cadillac.
Welcome to Bahrain, ladies and gentlemen. F1 is back. Every team and driver comes here with the same goal, to win. But that's for the end of the season. For now, they have to prepare to fight for F1 glory. Bahrain might have a small land footprint, but it's showing its big spirit right now in the grandstands. Either way, it's time for another fantastic weekend of Grand Prix racing.
What teams learned in pre-season testing will be put into practice now, with all of them hoping they make the right calls with the data they have.
Stay right here, because we're just getting started.
Well, guys, it's been a while since we've been here in Q1 and fighting to get out of Q1, but across the line, he's coming Esteban Ocon. By the way, that livery looks gorgeous, doesn't it? But Esteban Ocon comes across the line, doesn't improve by enough. Pierre Gasly improving all the time behind him in P16. Is he going to manage to knock his teammate out of Q1, sorry. This is a huge moment for Pierre Gasly, and he does. Pierre Gasly goes P12. Ocon is out in Q1 for Andretti. Very, very disappointing and concerning so far. Look at the Bridgestone tyres, by the way, we've got on the card. Something a little bit different as well. But yeah, Pierre Gasly into Q2, just the one car. My word. So here we are then. Pierre Gasly coming up to the final corner here. He's got Lewis Hamilton in front of him, who's got out of the way. He was green through the first sector, yellow through the second. Pierre Gasly looking punchy at the moment in this car. He seems to have got to grips with it a little bit better than Esteban has. And Pierre Gasly comes across the line, does improve. Is that going to be enough to get one of our cars through to Q3? As we fast forward it on, will Pierre Gasly manage to get into Q3? He won't. He's knocked out by one position, but P11 is not the worst qualifying performance in the world, but it is quite close. This is the thing that I'm banking on at the moment. The times are pretty close, so I'm hoping it's going to be very competitive. Let's get to the strategies. So then, strategy time. Pierre starting P11. I'm going to start him on the soft compounded tyre. He has only got one fresh set. He's only got a used set of soft compound tyres, so he's mainly going to be going on the mediums, is Pierre Gasly. Esteban Ocon on the double softs, then onto the medium at the end. Esteban Ocon got a good set of tyres available, so Esteban probably in a better position tyre-wise. Gasly has track position. Let's see what we can do and hopefully start this new season on a high.
Here in Sakir, the floodlights are on, and it's nearly time for 57 laps around the Bahrain International Circuit. And a chance for Nico Hülkenberg to prove a point today.
They've done well to secure a P9 start, and they'll be keen to convert that into some points.
But there's no more time left. We've got a race on our hands. Here we go with the Bahrain Grand Prix. And it's lights out. Away we go.
And away we go. Fernando Alonso in pole position. Checo Perez racing him down to turn one. We can see Pierre Gasly straight away getting up a position. We're looking at this. Where is Pierre Gasly? Pierre Gasly managing to get up into P10 ahead of Lewis Hamilton. He's on that soft compounded tyre, and already looking at the back of Nico Hülkenberg. Alonso did lead into turn one and has led away in the Aston Martin. He's got two fighty looking Red Bulls behind him. Carlos Sainz in P4, then comes Leclerc P5, Stroll P6, Russell P7 in the Mercedes, Alexander Albon, one of the new liveries, the Gulf livery for Williams this season in P8, then comes Hülkenberg, then Gasly, Hamilton in P11. Esteban Ocon's actually dropped a position off the start, not having a decent start at all. Esteban Ocon fighting with Valtteri Bottas in the Audi, which is another new livery we can have a look at. Look at that Audi livery. Does that not look rather good? And Esteban Ocon already trying to make moves early on in this Grand Prix. As we just drop him down to aggressive on the tyres, we'll do the same with Pierre Gasly, pushing on the fuel early doors, trying to make movers. Gasly looks like he's lost a position to Hamilton. Let's have a little look at this, because Lewis Hamilton in the Mercedes, we are not good out of the slow corners. We haven't got the acceleration possibly of what some other cars have, and he's managed to get past us there. Lewis Hamilton up into the top 10. Now it's the job of Pierre Gasly to try and stick with Hamilton, who obviously was knocked out early in Q2 yesterday. Lap 1, Alonso leads. Lap 7, you join us back. It's been an interesting start to this Grand Prix. Valtteri Bottas, though, had a more interesting one, and to be fair, we were very lucky not to get caught up in that. did a little spin. Now at the back of the pack now is Valtteri Bottas, so very near to the back of the pack. So Valtteri Bottas dropping down a position. Ocon getting into P16s. He's currently fighting with this Gulf Williams. It's Andretti versus Williams, and we are through up into P15. Meanwhile, Pierre Gasly holding on to the back of Lewis Hamilton. It's been lovely to see. He's keeping with him. One thing that must be noted, last year we were very good on our tyres as a car. We were really good on saving the tyres. This year, looks like we're burning them up a little bit, and although we're trying to manage the tyres a little bit and stay in the sort of cooler air, that is a bit of a fault of our suspension and front wing at the moment. We are not the best on cooling at all. We've subsidised that for performance because we were a long way behind with that cost cap early doors last season. But as you can see, Pierre Gasly sticking with Lewis Hamilton, and it is prompting me to think the medium is going to be the way to go with Gasly especially. Ocon P15 now trying to catch up to the back of Oscar Piastri. Struggling with the car is Esteban Ocon at this moment in time, but doing his utmost to get back in that DRS because it's ever so important if he can do that. Lap 7, it's still Perez, or even lap 8 now. Perez leading from Verstappen. Verstappen on the medium compounded tyre. Perez on the softs. Alonso in P3 now, fighting with Max Verstappen as Gasly still sticking in there with this Mercedes car. Ocon now has got his tyre temps under control and hopefully can start to push up towards the back of Oscar Piastri. And sneak up to the back of Oscar Piastri, yes. Esteban Ocon getting up towards Oscar Piastri and managing to get past the Aussie driver. We've had a lot of battles with him on my F1 23 series. If you've not seen that, go and watch that. But Esteban Ocon managing to get the job done, getting up into P14. He's making his way through the pack. And hopefully these two can work together as Pierre Gasly has lost the DRS of Lewis Hamilton. That's going to cause a problem. And in these slow corners, we simply do not have the pace to keep with these front runners at this moment in time. But the undercut may be powerful, and we are considering changing the strategy, coming in a little bit earlier. We're just keeping an eye on what we can do with Pierre Gasly at this moment in time. The medium may really help him towards the end. Ocon, different kettle of fish. He's now working his way up to the back of Kevin Magnussen, making some nice progress so far. But at the sharp end, Perez leads from Verstappen. And just as I said that, what is the one thing we didn't want to see this weekend? And it's Pierre Gasly, who was fighting for points, locking up that front right, and he is now dropped down the grid by some distance. Pierre Gasly still sat at the side of the road, can't rejoin, and Pierre Gasly is going to be rejoining in P19 just in front of the Hugo Boss AlphaTauri, which we haven't seen. The Hugo Boss car there of Danny Ricciardo. And yeah, that's a big problem for Pierre Gasly. Down to P19, not the start to this season that we were looking so far. But that Hugo Boss livery, by the way, what a good looking livery this is. Just to peel off, all the mods are down in the video description, but Danny Ricciardo sporting that Hugo Boss livery. Lovely, not so lovely for Pierre Gasly. Lap 16 and first pit stop of the season. It's going to be Pierre Gasly. It's not worked for him so far. That little off that he has really knackered his tyres up. So he is coming in to the pits. Is Pierre Gasly. So it's been a disappointing start for him. He did very well yesterday in qualifying. Esteban Ocon's battling away with Kevin Magnussen. We'll come to that in a moment. Let's hope that we get a decent... We get away well there. So Pierre Gasly out onto the medium compounded tyre. Fantastic work from him. But Esteban Ocon, let's have a little look at this because he's 5 tenths behind Kevin Magnussen. He's been battling with him for a long time as Esteban Ocon. But what these guys are doing between them is pulling themselves up to the back of Lando Norris. Will we get a safety car here this afternoon? That could be absolutely massive as well. So Esteban Ocon absolutely loving life at this moment in time. He's got the DRS open here. Let's have a look. We haven't got the power what certain other engines have got and powertrains have got, and that is hurting us a little bit in the straights. We haven't got that acceleration, but this DRS is quite effective. We've got quite a decent rear wing. So at the moment, Ocon still in with a shout for points, but it's going to take some doing to catch up to Albon in P10. Perez still leading, but Leclerc now in the Ferrari has managed to overtake Max Verstappen. Alonso, remember, who started on pole, is down in P4. We've got Russell in P6, Sainz P7, Hamilton in P8, Hülkenberg P9 and Albon is in P10 in that Gulf Williams livery, which looks absolutely stunning as well. Some of these livery designers do a fantastic job, and we've got a few of them on showcase here. But we've got Schumacher into the pits and Bottas as well. Audi deciding to double stack here. Let's see if this works as well as it possibly can. He's held. He's probably just about okay. Bottas does get in. We can see the Bridgestone tyres there in all their glory. Schumacher and Bottas. Where is Pierre Gasly? Pierre Gasly coming around the final corner. Let's have a little look. Schumacher's already out, as is Bottas. But Gasly caught a little bit up. Not too good. But at the moment, he's got to get those tyres up to temperature. Ocon still tottering along nicely in P12 and managing to overtake Kevin Magnussen. We have a yellow flag on circuit and Esteban Ocon.
Yes, we have. We've
had a crash. Let's have a little look at what's happened here, because it's Esteban Ocon and Magnussen.
But here we are following the Alpine.
Let's have a see who's at fault here. He just turns in a little bit. Magnussen goes careering off into the side, and Esteban Ocon comes in to the pit lane. Doesn't look like Ocon had any damage. We've got a lot of heading hands in the Cadillac garage here. But let's just have a little look at what's gone on here, because it looks like Esteban Ocon's got a time penalty, but has he got any damage? He doesn't appear to have. But this 5-second time penalty really is just resigning us to what we are at this moment in time. He comes out on a fresh set of soft compound tyres, I believe. And let's have a look where he's going to filter out here. Norris is pretty much down the road now. He's got Danny Ricciardo in the Hugo Boss car in front of, just behind him. But Esteban Ocon out onto a fresh set of soft compound tyres. He served his 5-second penalty, I believe, but we have got a problem, and we have got minor front wing damage, which is a huge, huge problem for the rest of this race for Esteban Ocon. He's going to have to manage that effectively. Pierre Gasly now running at the back, not managing really to make any indentations on the gap in front of him. This has been a very, very poor start to the new season for this new Andretti team. And on lap 25, Yuki Tsunoda is managing to overtake Esteban Ocon. He's struggling. It's not the easiest car to drive in the world anyway. And we see the Hugo Boss car of Yuki Tsunoda getting past him with the DRS. Very disappointing for Esteban. He's got a tough end to this race now, but at this moment in time, as you can see, we're just fast forwarding on there. Esteban Ocon down to P13, but just about staying in touching distance of the Hugo Boss car. I think in a few races' time, we're going to be in a lot more competitive position to what we are at this moment. But this now, just hanging on to the back of Yuki Tsunoda. If there's a safety car, of course, everything changes. But, well, lap 26, practically halfway through the race, Perez is leading from Alonso. I believe Verstappen. Has Verstappen made his pit stop? He has. So, long way to go in this. It could be a closer battle at the front this season. We're seeing the two Aston Martins in particular right at the top of the grid. But we are languishing in the lower midfield at the moment, lap 26. And Pierre Gasly, it's fair to say he's not enjoying driving this new car. He's just spun there. And it's a bad day so far for Pierre Gasly. Not managing to make it work at this moment in time. I mean, look how disappointed she is. She's trying to smile for the camera, but she can't do it. And it must be said, neither can I at this moment in time. We are struggling with the tyre temperatures. This does not look like a good race car early into this new season. Meanwhile, Esteban Ocon is still heading this pack up in P12. He's doing a cracking job with the penalty that he's had. And also with the damage that he's got on the car. He's managing it effectively, but Pierre Gasly is really struggling with his tyre temperatures at this moment in time. Whereas Esteban Ocon seems to have it all under control. Lap 27. Lap 38, Esteban Ocon is in to the pits. And it must be said that I think we've got to serve this time penalty again now. I thought we'd served it on our last pit stop, but let's have a little look. No, we are serving the penalty now. It looks like we served it on the last one. And we've got a delayed pit stop as well. This weekend, this opening weekend is going so well, it's beyond a joke how well this is going. I mean, where is that going to bring us out? We've just had an 11-second pit stop. Piastri's passed us, Ricciardo's passed us. We are going to come out in front of our teammate Pierre Gasly. But yeah, that's a very, very disappointing pit stop indeed. Gasly's going to be in the next lap. And in comes Pierre Gasly for his pit stop on the next lap. Lap 40, 17 laps to go. Gasly is in. He's going in for another set of medium compounder tyres. 2.7 seconds. That's not the best pit stop in the world either. We've got Esteban Ocon now down in P17. We've got a few guys in front of him. Ricardo's yet to pit, as is Bottas, Joe. I think we've lost a little bit too much time with those penalties and the poor pit stop as well. So Max Verstappen now absolutely running away with it, yet to pit. But it could be very close between the two Red Bull guys. These are looking very quick again so far early in this season. And amazingly, Mercedes have decided to double stack Russell and Hamilton. What on earth are they doing? We see the Bridgestone tyres going on, but Hamilton is going to be absolutely fuming with that, surely. Let's see where Hamilton rejoins here. Russell's going to come out in P8. To be fair, Hamilton's probably not lost any positions for that, but surely just unnecessary from the Mercedes team. Norris trundling down the pit lane as well. Esteban Ocon is just coming around the final corner. No, he isn't. He's not even near the final corner yet. Esteban Ocon. So for the last 17 laps, the two Andretti guys are not going to be impressed at all. Lap 40. With 9 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen, I've made a little bit of an error. I've left them on pushing on the fuel mode, and then I've just got notified we might run out of petrol here. So we've got a very different bit of jeopardy towards the end of this race. This has not been a positive start for us at all. Verstappen's leading from Perez. Alonso's in P3. Looks like he's going to get a podium, as does Charles Leclerc. Lance Stroll P5. Sainz P6. Then comes Russell, Hamilton, Albon and Norris. There's some great battles going on, but unfortunately we are not one of the cars showing it at this moment in time. So we're currently now conserving fuel, hopefully, so we can actually finish the race. Would be absolutely ideal. With, 8 laps to go. It's Verstappen leading. We're just fighting Yuki Tsunoda. Final lap, and Max Verstappen is coming around the final few corners. He's starting this season how we finished the last. We've managed to save our fuel up. Esteban Ocon is into P15. So Ocon, to be fair, without that crash today and the penalties, maybe could have been looking at the back end of the points. But we see Max Verstappen, he's going to win the season opener just as he did last season. Max Verstappen, imperious once again. It's a Red Bull 1-2. Alonso's in P3, but the main battle on circuit at this moment in time is Lance Stroll up against Charles Leclerc, battling for P4. Can Lance Stroll manage to make a move? He pulls to the inside. Doesn't look like that Aston Martin has quite got the pace to attack Charles Leclerc in this race. Let's have a little look as he comes around the final corner. Is he going to manage to do it with DRS? Let's have a little look. He may close on him towards the line. Leclerc goes defensive, but he's got it done. Charles Leclerc finishes P3. It's P4. Charles Leclerc finishes P4. It's P5 for Lance Stroll. Ocon P15. Disappointing weekend.
Hard to imagine how things could have got much worse for Gasly today.
It's been a very frustrating day for them, and they leave without any points. That's not the sort of performance we'd expect to see, really.
And no doubt, Verstappen fans will be celebrating the Dutchman's achievement.
Their first win of the season, and the team looking on will be very proud, I'm sure.
It's a very familiar sight. Max Verstappen winning with Checo Perez on the second step of the podium. Fantastic work from Red Bull once again. As we saw Max Verstappen winning from Checo Perez. Lando Norris getting some good points in P10, but you have to go all the way to the bottom to find the Andretti Cadillac of Pierre Gasly. And Max Verstappen also got the fastest lap. Is there anything this man can't do? As we can see, it's pretty much as you were. Fernando Alonso getting the bonus point for the pole position as well, which is new for this season. Constructor standings wise, we are very much out at the bottom with Audi and Hugo Boss, who didn't manage to score any points. Red Bull top with Aston Martin second. Disappointing start to our second season. Lots of work to come. The cost cap at the end of the last year has really hindered us. And we've got a lot of work to be doing. So I'm going to crack on with that between episodes. And I shall see you on the next one. Please like and subscribe. Ta-ra.